Ladies and gentlemen, I too would like to say welcome to Autostadt here in Wolfsburg on a day which is quite significant for us because with our program for the future, together Strategy 2025 that we're presenting to you for the first time today, we are initiating the biggest change process, or have initiated the biggest change process in the history of the company. Our new strategy clears the way for transforming one of the world's best car makers into one of the world's leading providers of sustainable mobility. This is a vision that guides us, and that is why, and this is what it's about for me and us, fundamentally. Now, you might remember that in the fall of 2015, I told you about a new strategic objective, and I mentioned that as one of our top priorities, and today we are delivering. More than 250 experts from all parts of the company have worked hard in the past few months on this, and our new group strategy, therefore, was not devised in an ivory tower. An Eiffel Tower? No, sorry, an ivory tower. Sorry, I've been watching too many European Cup games. Our new strategy was not developed in an ivory tower, and it wasn't the work of external consultants either. In fact, it comes straight from the heart of our company. It brings together the knowledge, the ideas, and the visionary power of all the people who have been working on this process. And I'd like to thank those who were involved, and above all, Thomas Sidran and his team. I'd like to thank them for their dedication, their endurance, and their creative energy. Ladies and gentlemen, every new strategy must begin with a self-critical and fair review of the actual situation. In our case, however, it was overshadowed by the diesel issue and the way we have been taking care of it, and this has dominated people's perception of the group over the last few months. Now, understandably, given the severe consequences that these events have had for us and continue to have for us. But Volkswagen is more than diesel. The crisis partly eclipsed what we have attained as a group over the past few years. Our Strategy 2018 was definitely a success, despite all justified criticism about a certain fixation on the size of the company and maybe a dash of complacency that might have crept into our thinking and our actions over the years, despite the warning words from Dr. Wittekorn. The fact is, though, that we have met our targets that we set for ourselves back in 2007 ahead of time, or at least we were well on track to do so when we were caught by the diesel issue. And this is true for customer satisfaction, employee satisfaction, and it's also true in terms of delivery figures and to a certain extent in terms of profitability. It's also a fact that the Volkswagen Group has grown onto a new plane since 2007. In sales revenue, we more or less doubled. Operating profit before special items also doubled. Our workforce also nearly doubled. And in terms of market capitalization, too, even after the decline as a result of the diesel issue, we are still up quite a bit. Now, all this sounds very good, but figures alone do not paint the whole picture. It's definitely true that we have major weaknesses as well. The buzzwords here are, above all, structure, culture, and efficiency. Now, since last fall, these weaknesses have been exposed more clearly than before, but we are certainly not going to gloss them over. Rather, we want to eliminate them, and our new strategy will play a major role here in doing this. Ladies and gentlemen, Volkswagen also has undeniable strengths. We have a portfolio of fascinating brands unique to the entire industry. We cover many segments in the global automotive markets with compelling models. We have a more global footprint than any other car maker in the world, and we combine technological expertise in our established business with a high level of innovative power. We've got loyal customers who continue to trust us, and we have a strict quality orientation that runs through the entire group and all its brands, and we can rely on the expertise and dedication of our workforce. And incidentally, we can also rely on our co-determination system, in which people have much confidence, and if it's understood and internalized, it's a help and not a hindrance. And our finances are also very robust, even if the repercussions of the diesel issue put them to a tough test. And last but not least, we've got an ownership structure which gives us the necessary stability for long-term plans. Let me get back to the diesel issue. The diesel issue definitely has given us a big shake-up, and in order to completely overcome it, we will still need a bit of time. But we've got a solid foundation on which to build if we, as we now intend to shape the future of the Volkswagen Group. The current crisis is a catalyst for us here. At Volkswagen, doors have opened up. The readiness for change has grown considerably. I feel this every day in my personal contact with managers, labor representatives, and employees. However, despite the diesel issue, I can say that the pressure to change was already there anyway, not least given the revolutionary transition and transformation of our business that we're going through right now. You know what these buzzwords are all about. The technological megatrends are calling conventional business models into question to a certain extent because they also radically change customer requirements. Competition seems to be getting tougher month by month as competitors, old and new, move into our core business or seek to contend with us for other opportunities. Capital requirements are much higher because innovation cycles are getting ever shorter, and we need to establish new core competencies. And this means that we've got to make more efficient use of our resources, and we've got to be faster, both in decision-making and in our actions. Because ultimately, the general conditions we're facing are ever more challenging. The emission standards are getting tougher all the time, and the volatility in global purchase and sales markets is also growing. So one thing is certain, the pressure will continue to grow. The changes in our environment are also reflected in the major trends in our industry. And we've put these trends together on the chart for you. You see behind me. And this chart clearly indicates that product innovations and new business models are interconnected, and they all evolve at the same time or concurrently. Optimization of conventional business runs parallel to the creation of new business models and vehicle concepts, business models such as in the field of mobility services. So the challenge facing Volkswagen and the entire industry has many different facets and dimensions. But at the same time, we are witnessing dynamism in our business that until recently no one would have dared dream of. It's not just the car or the automobile per se that will change fundamentally in the years to come. Mobility as a standalone product, as our promise to users, is being redefined now, in particular by customers themselves, who are calling for innovative solutions to their increasingly fast-changing needs. This revolutionary transformation offers us huge opportunities, and we want to take advantage of them. Our commitment and aspiration here is clear. Just as we have long enriched the lives of millions of people the world over, Volkswagen now aims to play a leading role in shaping auto mobility for future generations. I admit that this is a lofty aspiration. How we're going to meet it is what we address with our program for the future that we call Together, Strategy 2025. The 2025 time period that we're talking about in the title represents the long-term mindset and approach that Volkswagen has always had. The term together that you see at the beginning of the strategy represents a mindset that will be more and more important in the group. We know that over the long term we can only succeed if we all pull together. Together, that means our employees, and together with and for our customers, and together with our shareholders and our business partners. And we're fully aware of our responsibility too toward society as a whole and the environment. So together is the quintessence of our understanding of sustainability, which in its broadest sense will guide our future actions. Ladies and gentlemen, our program for the future, Together Strategy 2025, is geared to sustainable, profitable growth, and it has 4 cornerstones. First, we're transforming our core business. Developing, building, and selling vehicles will remain our core business at Volkswagen going forward. But the face of this business will change massively and sustainably, so that the term evolution just would be too weak for what we're facing. And secondly, we are building a new mobility solutions line of business as a cross-brand autonomous unit, and we're doing this to make sure we can develop this additional new growth driver with the necessary agility and entrepreneurial focus. And third, we are strengthening Volkswagen's innovative power. And to do this, we are mobilizing in-house resources and harnessing outside impetus as well. And fourth, we are securing the funding for the massive investments for the future that lie ahead of us. And to do this, we will adjust all the necessary levers. These 4 elements are a coherent whole. The transformation of our core business and the new mobility solutions line of business form the foundation for tomorrow's growth. Both, however, will only be successful if we are able to establish a true culture of innovation in the group and if we are sufficiently profitable to finance all this. So, what are we planning here in concrete terms? These 4 cornerstones have had allocated to them 15 key strategic initiatives, and I will start by introducing them to you in brief before going into individual examples in greater detail. First of all, the first cornerstone of the strategy, that is transformation of our core business. Here we've developed a total of 9 initiatives in order to grow profitably, to build new strategic core competencies, and to strengthen the entrepreneurial spirit at Volkswagen. For instance, we will sharpen the positioning of our brands. In other words, the group and the brands will define more previously than before what automobiles we plan to market in the fastest growing segments and regions. And secondly, we will develop a portfolio of vehicles and powertrains that continues to ensure our sustained success even under altered market conditions. We are therefore subjecting our model portfolio to a rigorous review, and the key question is what customers in the various regions of this world really want. In the course of this, we will be significantly reducing our total number of model variants from the 340 or so we have today. And in addition to that, we're going to launch an electrification initiative, which will be second to none in the industry. And third, we are streamlining our modular systems to use them even better and in a more disciplined fashion. So let me state this clearly. The modular systems are the right way forward, but we were starting to get lost here and do too many things at once. So in the future, instead of 12 variants, we will just have 4 major modular systems, one